So this has been happening a lot recently, and there has been a shift in the mindset of the people. Forspoken last year came out, and it was a tremendous failure. It was such a failure that Square Enix shut down the entire studio. It's sad for them.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So over the past couple of years, there's been an increasing level of complaints about fan service in video games. These complaints not coming from gamers, rather they're coming from a loud minority of people from social media platforms like Twitter. Now unfortunately, a lot of game developers, including those from Japan, have been listening more and more to the Twitter users than the actual gamers interested in their products. And
yeah, that's what happens, is you listen to people that don't buy your products. This is what people do. This is what streamers do too. Is that, like, how many guys do you know that, like, or, like, I mean, just streamers in general, like, they listen to people on Twitter and they decide what they're going to do with their stream based off of, like, a very small subset of people, and they end up hurting their stream because of it. I've seen this happen a lot.
Is reflected in their sales, because as they've injected more woke nonsense into their games, their sales have gone down. However, this conversation has been re-explored once again with the recent talk about Stellar Blade. We talked about this on the channel, but as more trailers and previews have come out for this game that's coming out in a very short while, we've seen gamers get what they've been asking for, and that is conventionally attractive characters with fan service. That is something a lot of gamers enjoy, and people have been praising Stellar.
Well, it's not really a secret that people like looking at hot girls. I mean, even other girls like looking at hot girls. Like, it's really not a surprise. Like, I don't know why. It's kind of a shock to me that it's taken this long for people to wake up and realize it. Because this has been going on for years now. It's so annoying.
Blade and their developers for delivering just that. Now, I don't know if you guys have had a similar experience to me, but my Twitter timeline over the past couple of days has been nothing but Tifa from Final Fantasy.
I wonder why.
So basically all it took was a spoiler of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where Tifa is in a swimsuit to basically lead us what feels like a new renaissance in gaming. That's all it took. People are going absolutely rabid for this Tifa design here. All it took was the swimsuit. And
I actually don't think that it's really the Tifa thing per se. I think that a lot of people are tired of... It's kind of like what I said before about how I think people, like the people that make media, have lost the trust of the audience. And so the audience no longer looks at media and just consumes it. They always look at it with a sense of distrust or distaste. And I think that's what happens a lot.
Play a little clip of it. I don't even know if it's translated. It doesn't matter. You'll get the point. Believe me when I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. When this combination of Tifa in a swimsuit has consumed Twitter over the past couple of days.
I wonder why.
It's all everyone's talking about. It's all over everyone's timelines.
What a mystery.
And it's really not that surprising. The formula is simple, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is take Tifa, a character everyone likes.
Well, you just have to do the things that normal people like. So basically, if you see a thread on Twitter that's really popular from a person who has mental disorders in their profile, their bio, do the opposite of what that tweet is complaining about. Just do the exact opposite of that, and you will be successful with normal people.
And add anime titties.
It's that simple.
Boom. Success. The
Easy.
formula is so simple, and it was working for so many years until recently, where now game developers are shying away from these things because they want to appease people on Twitter, for example. And it's very strange. Let's get back to the very simple formula. And a lot of people have looked at this situation and said, hey, is this a redemption arc for Square Enix, who a lot of people have had concerns.
Square Enix quietly removes recruitment page bragging about censorship. Well, of course they're going to remove that. Well, the reason why they're removing it is because people don't want it. Like, at the end of the day, they're selling a product.
Because of a lot of woke nonsense they've been pursuing with their recent titles. And in fact, only a month ago, we saw this article from Niche Gamer where they reported that Square Enix quietly removed a recruitment page bragging about censorship. Now, we talked about this maybe about a year ago, but this was a disastrous discovery when people translated this recruitment page where a member of the ethics team over at Square Enix made some very concerning statements talking about the biggest joy of their job being removing and changing things that the developers had made, including changing things to a point where the players would never even know whatever was removed existed in the first place. And when they're talking about things that they want to change, they're referring to things they consider controversial, problematic, and weird.
Here's my problem with that. I think that a lot of the people that try to make this decision, I don't trust their barometer on what they think is controversial, problematic, or weird. Because I think that if you had a 30-minute conversation with them, they would be controversial, problematic, or weird. They're fucking losers with no social life. Yes, that's basically what I'm saying. That's correct.
Is a very open-ended concept and way too open for someone on an ethics team to be tinkering with when they're doing their changes for a localization.
Why is weird bad? Because if you're weird, you're probably not going to have a very good... Oh, it depends on the kind of weird, okay? There's the good weird and the bad weird. This is the bad weird.
Or a public release of a title. However, a lot of people looked at this situation and said, they really lost that much from Forspoken, huh? So they're now starting to scale back some of these recent changes and overall company policies and directions they've been pursuing.
Well, I don't know why anybody thought Forspoken was going to be good. The game, and also, like, I want to make one thing clear. Like, I played Forspoken. It was okay, but it really just, like, it wasn't that great of a game, period. So, like, what are we really talking about here? And I played it. Yeah, I did. Of course I played it. Yeah, the story was dumb. Yeah, the main character was shit. Yeah. It just wasn't a good game.
Last couple of years. And you might be onto something, because nothing will make a company listen more than taking away their money, taking away their profit. And that's what happened with Forspoken. Absolute dumpster fire of a game, in case you weren't aware. This was not only a big blow to the reputation of Square Enix, just because this game underperformed, but it was also a huge blow financially, because as it turns out, this game cost $100 million.
$100 million on this. Oh my god, that is sad. Why?
Dollars. Yeah, $100 million.
I just wasted millions of freaking mind.
For this quality, okay? You kind of get what you deserve in that situation.
You do.
But of course, with these new hopes, with Square Enix maybe turning a new page, I would be remiss.
Do you think people would hate Forspoken so much if the protagonist was a dude but had the exact same dialogue? I'm going to give you a super honest answer. No. Because men and women behave differently in society, and the expectations and stereotypes that they have in society are real. They're represented by biology. And people have different expectations whenever you look at a male character and a female character. Now, would the character have been good? I don't really know. I don't think so. I don't think it would have been good, but it probably wouldn't have been received as badly. You can't go and replace the gender on a character and then keep the character. That's just not how things work. That's not how the world works. Men and women are different. You can't write a male character and then replace it with a female character and think that the audience is going to identify with that, because men and women are different in every single way. And these and this is the problem with modern media. This is the problem with, like, Twitter individuals, is that they are so disconnected from reality. They're not able to even see what's in plain sight. That's it. Troy, don't reverse the roles. Yeah, you can't reverse the roles. It doesn't work that way. True, but it has to be fucking good? Oh, no. I mean, you can make bad female characters, but that's it. That doesn't mean that, like, every character is good or bad. What's this here? Wasn't Alien protagonist supposed to be a man? I don't know about that. I have no idea, but it also depends on what it is. There's a spectrum of behavior that people don't really expect from a female in a way that they expect it from a male. And I think this is especially true with being aggressive. Like, for example, being like men are just naturally more aggressive. That's just what happens. So whenever you have a female character that is actively aggressive and super aggressive and like masculine, this is not realistic for people. And people, I understand, want to have a degree of fantasy, but that degree of fantasy has to be rooted in a human experience of the fantasy. And whenever the human experience of the fantasy that you're having is fake, and you know that it's not real, the fantasy doesn't hit the same either. So yeah, men and women are different. You can't just take a male role and male traits and apply it to a girl and think it's a one-to-one. You're wrong about the differences. I agree with you. Okay. I mean, I don't want to argue with you about this, right? Sure.
If I didn't bring up the real concerns that have not been addressed. And as Scratchpoint here points out, a lot of the ESG-related policies that they're pursuing on their pages have not been removed, unlike the recruitment page where they're bragging about censoring and removing things. This is still right on their front page, talking about all of their community goals and all of their goals to inspire and have as much inclusivity as possible and tell the stories of all kinds of different rich backgrounds in their products, as well as pursuing more diverse
and so is all this gone or what?
Representation and equity and all these things, when really people just want a good game. I think that's really all people want, instead of all this very performative nonsense on their page we all know they're doing to impress someone else, not gamers. Gamers just want a good piece of media. That's it. That's how you keep them happy. And I don't know why we're kind of losing the plot here with all these attempts by Square Enix.
Well, the reason why they're losing the plot is because the people that are trying to push this kind of stuff are not the gamers they're not the ones that are playing these kinds of games. Like, most of the people that are going to play Final Fantasy VII, like, want to see Tifa being hot. Like, let's just be honest. That's what they want to see. Like, if there's a new Dead or Alive beach volleyball game, they're not going to want to see the characters be fat either. You make a game for people that don't play games, and the people that do play games aren't going to buy it.
Next year, but moving forward, I'm going to give the hottest take ever, okay? This is nuclear, ladies and gentlemen. Before you start attacking me in the comments, let me soften the blow with this. Listen very carefully. I think this Tifa swimsuit looks amazing. Okay, I think it looks awesome. Okay, I'm happy with it. But I believe this is a compromise. The way this swimsuit was designed was a compromise. Because maybe if this was 10 to 15 years ago, this would be a bikini. Okay? It's just a different landscape nowadays, and I think adding all of these frills and extra layers to the swimsuit is a compromise by Square Enix. And this is their way of basically having...
Well, I think that things like this take time to change, right? And so I don't know if this is true or not. It's hard to really say. But yeah, I mean, and also like it'll take time.
Middle ground between what gamers want and their own...
Who knows?
Whatever thought process and direction they've been heading the last couple of years. But anyways, I kind of forget about all that when I see mini games like this being shared.
Look, bro, I saw this.
Some more spoilers where Tifa's doing sit-ups in that swimsuit, and I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe we are back. But anyways, while a lot of people are praising Final Fantasy, a lot of people are celebrating the downfall of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
I feel like this game is like this is the game that is like the example of everything wrong with games. Is that people hate live service and it's live service. People don't like the microtransaction shop, and it's like that. The story does a disservice to the original source material. They don't like that. Like, it's a looter shooter. People don't like that. It's like basically every negative stereotype for video games put together.
And we talked about a few weeks ago after it released, and it's been a dumpster fire. As a product itself, I think nothing sums up the experience more than the final scene. Besides a lot of the pandering throughout the game, the final scene really just wraps everything up with a nice bow, and it really just represents a lot of beloved IPs being treated really poorly by this game. In the final scene, Harley Quinn boops Batman on the nose and then 5 seconds later shoots him in the face. And unfortunately, those lines from Batman were the final lines of the now late Kevin Conroy's career.
I actually heard that wasn't true. I heard that he had another role after this in like 6 months or something like that. It's actually not true, but it's, you know, like once everybody, it was a lot, yeah, multiverses, yeah, something like that, yeah.
And that was someone who was the voice of Batman, a very beloved
I had no
voice
idea
actor,
about that.
beloved member of this franchise and any related communities, and that was his final line. Just an unfortunate end to an unfortunate IP and game here. And the proof is in the pudding with how gamers are responding to this. Here we are, only a few weeks later, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has less than 1,000 players, which I'm pretty sure that's around the number of hardcore classic WoW right now, even though Season of Discovery is out. That's just to give you an idea.
I don't agree with that, because I actually think that hardcore classic WoW has more people. I think that guaranteed it has more people. That's what's so sad about it. Maybe 10 more? Yeah, hardcore classic WoW has 1,006 people, and Suicide Squad has 985.
Idea of how low that number is for a major release like this.
Yeah.
And of course, Warner Bros. Is actually feeling the concerns here. They're feeling the heat because they're losing a lot of money on this one. I think that's no secret, where they have now come out and said that this game...
It's pretty bad if they have to come out and say that they're losing money. Like, you've got to be losing a lot of money to say that you're losing money.
Has fallen short of their expectations.
Jesus.
So the WB has flat out admitted this, that this game was a critical and commercial failure in its attempt...
Well, the crazy thing about that is that didn't they delay this game because they literally said that it was bad? They said the game is bad, we need to spend more time making the game good. So, like, I mean, didn't they kind of know this? I mean, what the hell?
To herd its Arkhamverse into a live service game. And as you can see here, here's a quote.
People say the problem with the game is a live service. People said the campaigns suck too. It's not like this game isn't bad because it's a live service. The game is bad because it's bad. Like, the gameplay is bad. The graphics on the game look bad. The people that played through the stories of the other game seem to not like this story. If you made this game a standalone game, it would still be bad. Live service doesn't make a game bad. If it did, Helldivers 2 would be awful, but it's not, because live service isn't the problem. The real problem is quality.
From the WB CFO, Gunnar Weidenfels, saying that the game had fallen short of their expectations, and there was no numbers shared, but he said that this
it's a tough
game
year.
created a tough year for their gaming business, and going forward in comparison to last year's smash hit Hogwarts Legacy, that they're going to have to do things differently. And that's not very surprising. Hogwarts Legacy coming out as the #1 selling game of 2023. And then the
That's
next
crazy
thing
to
is
me.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which was a big-time flop. And really scoring horribly for a AAA title. It's just not a good look. And for a lot of people, they look at this situation with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and they say, yeah.
Well, this is the power that gamers have. This is the power whenever gamers rise up, or I guess they refuse to rise up, is that if you don't want to support a game and you don't want a certain type of game to continue to exist, then all you have to do is just stop consuming content for that game, and then it will go away. It's literally that simple.
Consequences of your actions. This was a very underwhelming title from Rocksteady, and really
they spent so much on marketing too,
and no one really feels sorry for them. And hopefully, again, this serves as a wake up to what gamers actually want, and maybe they'll start changing things in a positive direction. And that's what a lot of people are saying is happening with Square Enix right now. And if that holds true, we'll have to just wait and see. But For now, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed as
Games are bad and fail because they're bad, not because they're woke. Elden Ring doesn't have any hot girls in swimsuits, yet we all love it. Woke content will make a bad game worse, but it will not make a good game bad. People will not avoid playing a game because it has woke content in it. That might make them hate a game that's already bad more, but that's it.
Always share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.
There it is. Yeah, I would say that I pretty much agree with all of this.
Hey, what's up?
I think that this has been a big problem that a lot of people have had with like games, is that they're trying to make, and this is the problem, right, is that I think that this is what studios think. They think that if they make games that have like these more, I guess you could say, like realistic portrayals of women or something like that, if they do that, then this will somehow get more girls to play games. That's their perspective. Is like, we want to get more girls to play games, so what we're going to do is we're going to make these realistic depictions of women, and then this will get girls to play games. I think this was the strategy that these companies had. Did it work? No. No, that didn't work. Well, there it is. Girls like hot girls too? Yeah, a lot of them do. We want to get more girls to play games, aka we want profit from the women demographic. Yeah, and also, like, yes, keep in mind that this is not something that, like, you know, these developers don't have some sort of, like, they don't really care about this. This is not like a big issue that they have an opinion about, but they're just doing it for money. That's it. They are just doing it for money. But girls play games, not just the ones that you play. Well, exactly. And like, that's the thing, is that it's, again, it's the brain rot of thinking that a girl, like a man and a woman, are going to consume content in the same way. Like, obviously there's overlaps, but there's also things that aren't overlaps. I'm sorry, but like, if you're bringing out a game, if your game is big, hairy, sweaty men fighting on the medieval battlefield with great swords and clubs, and they're all wearing armor, and you can't even see anybody's face, this is a game that is going to be played primarily by men. That's just the way it is, guys. That's it. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah. It's like, you look at these games, and that's all that plays. Look at New World, for example. I mean, come on. Yeah, men love muscly men. Yeah, that's just the way it is. I'll link you guys the video. Give it a like. I'm glad to see things finally fucking going in the direction of common sense. Men don't want to play characters with horrible postures and bad health. Yeah, exactly. Isn't that supposed to be obvious? Well, no, it's not obvious, because people spend so much time trying to pretend that the interests of men and women are the same, because they act like men and women are the same thing. It's just like, oh, gender or genitals. No, it's not. It's the entire culture, behavior, everything about it. Who does that? People on Twitter do it constantly. Like, they do it fucking constantly. Absolutely. I mean, I think it depends. Like, there's a lot of girls that like The Sims, like Animal Crossing. Like, there's a lot of girls that play WoW, to be honest. Like MMOs, I think girls like MMOs. Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is a big one. Honkai Star Rail. Yeah, I'd say that for sure. Final Fantasy 14. Valorant. Yeah, there are a lot of girls that like Valorant. And Overwatch. Yeah, there's some girls that play Overwatch. I don't know how big that is. But yeah, those are some girls like Nikkei. Yeah, I think that some girls play that. Yeah, for sure. Pokemon's a good one. Yeah, my daughter likes horse games and Roblox. Yeah, sounds like a lot of kids. I mean, pretty much. Animal Crossing. Yeah, Genshin. There you go. Why would a demographic known for spending billions of dollars on makeup to make themselves look pretty want to play an average Jane? Because there's a few people that are on Twitter. And also, like, I personally think that there's, like, something very toxic that girls do. And this might get me in a bit of trouble. And that's why I'm going to say it. I mean, if it's not going to get people mad, what's the point? So, I think that girls, there are a lot of girls out there that have a extremely toxic trait of whenever they see a girl that they feel themselves, and this is not all girls, by the way, let's preface this. I don't do this, no! Wow, you're special. Not all women. The same as not all men. But I see this very commonly. Whenever there are girls and there's like some overweight girl or some girl that's like massively unhealthy because of her size, or she's like very ugly, there are tons of girls in the comments that are like complimenting her and being really nice to her and saying how beautiful she is, etc. And then those same types of people go and they start saying bad stuff about the girls that are in shape and fit and stuff like that. And it's like a certain type of toxic positivity that I think some girls do, because the girls that are looking in, like, are in better shape than they are, I think it makes them feel insecure. So like they like to basically like feel like, oh yeah, I'm such a nice and virtuous person, I'm gonna, you know, be nice to this girl. But then whenever it comes to another person who like makes them feel insecure, it's different. Yeah, it's another upward discrimination thing. Do you guys see this? Am I crazy? Only to someone they don't feel threatened by? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. 100%. I'm a thin woman. I get attacked regularly by other women all the time, saying I'm unhealthy or I have bad hair, bad makeup, etc. Well, of course. That girl's fat. No, she's beautiful. You look just like her. How dare you? Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's the dishonesty of it that's really just kind of, it's astonishing to me that, like, people don't see it.